This is the sizzling platter. When you're sitting there at the table and you hear them going by and you hear that sizzle and you smell that amazing aroma. This is what you got right here, friends. Let me tell you guys about Fajita Fomo. Fajita Fomo is like when you go to a restaurant and you're trying to kind of like not eat too much and be sort of healthy. And so you order the grilled chicken salad and then you hear it coming. Then it goes right by you to the next table and you smell the incredible aroma of the fajita sizzling on that platter. And you're sitting there going like, oh, I should have ordered the fajita platter. And that, my friends, is Fajita Fomo. Well, I don't think anybody should ever have Fajita Fomo. So today, I'm gonna show you how to make some amazing restaurant-style fajitas. So there's two things you need to know about making restaurant-style fajitas. And first is a delicious marinade, because it's all about that flavor. And that's exactly what a marinade does. It creates what I call a flavor bomb for your friends and your family. Now you guys know that I love a fajita cooked over an open fire, but restaurants don't cook them that way. Restaurants use a hot griddle to sear those fajitas and give them that delicious, amazing char. So today we're gonna make our fajitas on the made-in griddle. Vámonos! So we're gonna take 1/4 cup of olive oil first. We're gonna add 1 cup of water. This is 16 ounces, so about half of that is 8 ounces. Next up is 2 cups of beef broth. You can just add more water instead of beef broth if you want. You could even use chicken broth. Today's marinade is good for anywhere from 2 to 5 pounds. You want enough liquid to cover all the fajitas. Dale's is a really good marinade. You can use 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. I like to use Dale's and I'm using a 1/4 cup. Now this is 2 limes that I'm using. It's probably closer to a 1/4 cup. Sometimes they're not quite that juicy, so you may need 3 or 4. Next up, we have an orange. Similar to the lime, the citrus acid will help break down the fibers and the connective tissue and just help soften that meat up and allow the marinade to penetrate deep into the meat. Onions and garlics are 2 flavors that everybody recognizes, and they're pretty much in any store-bought marinade you buy anywhere. Now we're gonna use 1 whole tablespoon of fine ground black pepper. And last but not least, we're gonna use 3 tablespoons of wow. Now wow was originally created as a steak rub. All marinades have salt in them. I'm not using salt because I'm using the salt in the wow rub. And we're using 3 tablespoons. You can order it at pitmaster.us. People are gonna ask, why are you using powders instead of fresh onion or fresh garlic? You guys have seen me do that many times. But restaurants don't do 1 or 2 pounds of fajitas. They do pounds by the hundreds. So the only way to be really consistent and to prepare fast and efficiently is to use powders. You want to give it a little taste and just check your salt level. This right now is super savory, super delicious. Now here's another pro tip and a secret of restaurant style fajitas. When it comes off the griddle, that's when you give it that last little shake of salt flavor. All right, now part of cooking these amazing fajitas is the prep and the cooking process. And so part of the prep, you want to cut your fajitas into thinner strips like this in about 1.5, 2-inch long strips. See how this is with the grain? Now we're going to cut our little strips, and you want to cut them across the grain. About 1/2 inch thick, really about all you need. I'm going to trim off some of this fat here. This membrane here is not going to render, so you need a nice, very sharp little knife to get under that membrane and get rid of it. Part of the secret to having some tender, delicious restaurant-style fajitas is to buy a tender piece of fajita. In this case, this is flap meat. Buy a tender piece of meat and you will have some tender fajitas. Now, some restaurants use flank. Some real high-end restaurants use outside skirt steaks, which are always tender. Cost a little bit more, but it makes all the difference. Now, this big piece of meat here, I'm going to cut into a couple of strips of steaks. And I want to mainly do that to demonstrate to you guys that you can do it either way. You can either cook them as a nice little steak and then slice, or you can slice and marinate first and then saute them all in strips like that. All right, friends, we have our fajitas ready to go into the marinade. Look at that, that looks so good. That marinade smells really great too. Remember, we want them to be covered up as much as possible. We're going to drop these in here also. Generally, you want to marinate these fajitas anywhere from 6 to 10 hours, no less than 4. We're going to get these covered into the refrigerator, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. All right, my fajita friends, before we cook this delicious fajita platter, I want to take a quick moment to talk about today's sponsor, Made In. Now, I've been looking real closely at the Made In products, but when they reached out to me, I knew it was the perfect match. Made In designs professional quality products for the home cook, and they also partner up with multi-generational factories and artisans to bring you all a curated curated collection of materials and shapes that you need in your kitchen. And so for today's restaurant fajita video, we're using the made-in griddle, the press, and the lid. And the griddle is made out of carbon steel and it's pre-seasoned so you can cook faster and more evenly. The griddle is such a cool tool for the home cooks like myself and yourself because it's super versatile. And it cooks a great breakfast like bacon, eggs, pancakes, and lunchtime favorites like smash burgers and chops, and even fajitas. The fact that it's such a large surface makes it so versatile, and it covers the burners on the stove. The griddle is even great outside on the grill and can handle open flames up to 1200 degrees. Made-in's carbon steel collection is uncoated and non-toxic, and it's half the weight of cast iron, but it's just as durable. That means that it seasons faster, heats up quicker, and can travel from the stovetop to the grill, from inside to outside, and you guys know that's really important for me on this channel. Y'all can check out the carbon steel griddle and Made-in's other cookware by using the link in my description to save on your order. All right, let's get these fajitas sizzling. Vámonos! We're gonna make these delicious fajitas, and you can't have delicious fajitas without a really good salsa. We're also gonna take a couple of the bigger strips that I left last night that we said we're gonna make steaks out of. Ooh, listen to that sizzle. Yeah, buddy. Ooh, yeah, baby. No, that does not squeeze all the juices out. It helps enhance the char. The trick is to not do it too long or overdo it. You just want to add a little press. All right, let's give these tomatoes a little flippity flip. You just want to charm a little bit. Move my onions around just a little bit so that they get a nice little char all the way around. That one doesn't want to flippity flip. He keeps going back the other way. Flippity flip these fajitas. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that beautiful char. That's what you get with high heat. Now we do want to do a little flippity flip. Remember what I always say? We want to keep the moisture in the meat. And the press really helps enhance that char in a much quicker fashion. Oh yeah, baby, look at that now. That's looking gorgeous. Mira, 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 mira nomás. Que chulada. Once you see that clear juice, you're done, friends. You don't want to overcook your steaks. These are steaks. We're going to get these tomatoes out. We're going to scrape our griddle just a little bit, clean it up a hair. And that's one of the beautiful things about a carbon steel griddle. Once you have it nicely seasoned, all this stuff just comes right off. This is just part of the process. This is the same way all restaurants are going to do it. This is a morita chile. You can buy them in a can. It's called chipotle en adobo, but in dry form, it comes like this, just like the guajillo and just like a lot of the other dry chiles. This is the way it comes. I'm just gonna toast it very, very shortly. I've soaked them in water for a little while just to soften them up. Meanwhile, I'm gonna add some more fajitas over here with my tongs. I do go and rinse my tongs between the raw meat and the cooked meat, just so you know. Friends, this is gonna be a big old pile of deliciousness. No questions about it. I love that sizzle. Whew. Yeah, baby. I'm gonna flip my morita chiles. Ooh, I can smell them already with that little bit of heat. They smell really good. Put a little oil on there. We want to toast them just a little bit. When they start to look a little opaque, a little browner, then you're ready to go to the blender. It's time to cook some fajitas. So we're going to spread these out over here. Add a little bit more oil. You see all this moisture coming out here. Remember, we marinated these fajitas for that moisture, which carries a lot of flavor. So we had a lot of flavor in these fajitas. A lot of this water is just gonna evaporate here really quick. And so normally I would have done this in 2 smaller batches. I wanted to get these all cooked at the same time, kind of give them a little stir, a little saute. That's what we're looking for right there. A little beautiful brown color. As you see some pieces that are getting a little more done, you want to move them to the side over here. Leave the ones that are not quite as cooked over towards right where your hot points are. In this case, my hot points are right here. Once this moisture evaporates, you're gonna have some gorgeous, beautifully charred fajitas. The next step we're gonna do, we're gonna separate some of the fajitas here to the sides where our hot points are. We're gonna go ahead and add our onions and our bell peppers also. This is the sizzling platter that you see when you're sitting there at the table and somebody ordered it and you hear them going by and you hear that sizzle and you smell that amazing aroma. This is what you got right here, friends. We're gonna saute these right here in the middle, and we're fixing to go ahead and mix them all together and incorporate everything. Our meat's starting to look real pretty and colorful. It's time to incorporate everything all together now. So we're gonna just mix it all up right here on this really fantastic little griddle. This griddle is so versatile. I love this thing. We use it for just about everything. Remember, salt is always to preference, but you still need to taste it to see where you're at. before you go serve it to your customer. One of the secrets that restaurant cooks and chefs use is that last little shake of salt or salt and pepper before it goes to the table. That one's perfect. It does not even need salt. It is perfect. All right, friends, I just turned off the heat. So I'm pushing everything to the middle so it can rest for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and put my top on and keep them warm while I make my salsa. We'll be right back. These are the morita chiles. I'm gonna drop those in there. We're gonna put a little bit of water in there. This is the grasa olive oil. Now you can use whatever oil you like. And because those chiles are a little bit firm, we're gonna have to blend it for a pretty good while. This is gonna be a smooth sauce, not too chunky. You'll see some little small specks of that morita chile. All right, friends, take a look at this beautiful char that we accomplished here on this made-in griddle. High heat, a little press, and man, oh man, that looks gorgeous. That is absolutely perfect, friends. You can see the fibers running this way. You always want to cut against the grain. Man, oh man, if you guys could smell this. Oh my goodness. Honey, you gotta try a piece of this. It's so good. This meat is so delicious. We didn't even have to put our finishing salt on it. It's just perfect, super tender, very moist, wonderful. It literally is fantastic.
Kiss the chef.
Woo-hoo. That's a bonus. That's how you do it in the restaurant, friends. Go in here and grab you some fajitas with the bell pepper and the onions. So you want to load it up just like that. If you're not sure if there's enough meat there for everybody, make sure you load up that first taco really loaded, just in case you don't get to go for second. Just saying. We're gonna put some of the salsa. Again, I love a lot of salsa on my tacos. This is a traditional South Texas #1 selling dish. Vámonos pa' dentro. That makes you want to dance. Cut for a little bit. I'm gonna finish my taco. We'll be right back. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. We had a great time doing it as usual. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any videos from Arnitech. And if you're interested in our American Pitmaster Company barbecue rubs, go to pitmaster.us. We have 3 amazing rubs available. We ship everywhere in the country. And also, if you're interested in upping your barbecue game, you can go to pitmasterclass.us. Go ahead and hit that link, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching, friends. Keep the smoke light, make it work, and boom! Boom! Good fajitas, good fajitas, cut! It's gonna be about 8 to 10 hours, depending on how hot the coffee is in the morning, or how much the beer flows tonight. Now don't throw the orange away, make sure you eat it, okay? Because it's good for you. Sous chef, 1 beer por favor. First thing we need today is some olive oil. Now if you don't have the wow, you can use whatever you like, but just remember, it may not be as wow as my wow fajitas because you're not using wow. So make sure you get some wow at pitmaster.us.